starts in 2 minutes.
Now listen, now listen, now listen. I'm the Dairy Queen, won't you come with me along the milkshake way? I've got lots of good surprises, fresh and yummy for you every day. There are malts and shakes and sundaes too, whenever you stop. And of course your very, very favorite, the cone with the curl on top.
You don't have to just dream about Dairy Queen. Your favorite Dairy Queen treat is a refreshing reality at your nearest Dairy Queen store.
Show starts in 1 minute.
For our patrons, men, women, boys, girls. Through the cooperation of leading business places, you may now have free admission to this theater. Ask for dividend tickets when you shop at Names of merchants who give dividend tickets are listed in the lobby of the theater and on circulars at the concession stand. Dividend tickets will be accepted on all standard box office priced films. So take a circular with you today and start saving dividend tickets tomorrow when you shop. See your next movie completely free.
And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Johnny Joystick. Back.
Oop, right back at you, Johnny.
Oh, back from his trip to Wisconsin is Murray. Murray, how are you doing? How was the Tommy Bartlett Water Show? I know we're all dying to hear about that.
There was some unpleasantness. I can never go back.
What happened? What did you do?
My attorney has advised silence, but what I can say is that it went about as well as having a 1980s arcade cabinet as part of your water ski pyramid could.
Well, I guess that makes sense. We probably shouldn't go too deep into it, but like it's a nice tie-in because guess what? Tonight's game is going to be for the high score challenge. We're playing River Raid for the Atari 2600. Hey, Kevgrat, good to see you.
Perfect transition from water ski pyramids to flying a jet down the river of no return.
And what's also cool is like Kevgrat is here. He's here from the middle of the ocean. Like, I bet you didn't know that you could afford a cruise on KFC down.
Papa Brad moving up in the world. Costco hot dogs are premium tier.
Papa Brad with the super chat, $1.99. Costco hot dog money. Love to see it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's me. It's Papa B. Well, we're kind of doing Activision games. It's been a lot. Like these are posted. The high score challenges that I've been doing is posted by Mutual over on X, and he's been picking Atari games. So I've been playing those. We've been on an Activision tear for a while. But yeah, that's just gotta get that KFC money. Yeah. Let's see. Where else? Yeah. So I've decided to kind of mix things up. The Monday stream, I'm gonna do a high score challenge, whatever that is, and but like I do have like a backlog of games. I have other things I want to play. So I'm like, how do I balance this? So when I do Tuesday streams, I'm going to use that as the beating the backlog. I took a vote both on like a YouTube community poll and over on X, and I had 4 games there, and the winner was Streets of Rage.
Do I have to be there for every one of these?
What, you don't want to be here for beating the backlog?
If beating the backlog is going to be you playing things like G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra again, I don't think I can handle that.
Well, hopefully not. Like I said, the next one, the first official beating the backlog in this series is going to be Streets of Rage 3. We had a vote between Streets of Rage 3, Shadow Labyrinth, Geppy X, and Yo Noid for the NES. And I did it on YouTube. I did it on X. On YouTube, Streets of Rage 3 basically ran away with it with Yo Noid a distant second. Exit was much, much closer, where like Yo Noid was starting off very strong winning, but then Streets of Rage came back and won, but it was very close between those two. I think Enduro was one that they had for a challenge. While I was in Vegas, I didn't do it that week. When I got back, I did so I missed Enduro. But yeah, Activision definitely make the best Atari games. Like when you think of like Atari 2600, I mean like they're the ports, right? You know, like Centipede and everything, but yeah, I guess Yars, you know. But most of like the classic games that you think of when you think Atari 2600, they're Activision games. And they did, you know, a remarkable job. It's really sad kind of what happened with Activision, considering like where they were, like, you know, the kings of the console back then. Yeah, does that answer your question, Murray, about to be in the backlog? I mean, like, I guess you don't have to be here, but
Streets of Rage 3. Okay, that's better than G.I. Joe. But I won't have to be there every single stream, right? Like if the game sucks or you're just so bad at it, I'd be too embarrassed to even be there.
Jesus. Yeah, yeah. I guess if that's the case, you could probably take some a night off. You know, I won't begrudge you that. Mondays you're still gonna have to be here for the high score stuff, buddy. Sorry, but Tuesday when we do be in the backlog, you can decide.
Fair enough. At least I can bail when you're dying to the first boss for 2 hours straight.
Yeah. Bring that. It's a good thing I'm not playing Cuphead on that. I'm working through that one off stream. That's a really fun game. Actiplaque because of the glue, huh? Is that like sheen on the labels or? Oh, nice. You see that, Murray? Papa Brad has almost the complete Activision library for Atari 2600.
Yeah,
the real carts.
The sticky residue that forms on old Activision labels. That glue they use breaks down over time, leaves that gross film.
Huh. Interesting. Well, let's
That's solid, Papa Brad. Those carts still hold up, too. Activision's 2600 stuff was next level.
Yeah, and I think we are playing, you know, probably, I think they're maybe their best game. I mean, it's definitely considered one of the best games on the 2600. We'll see. Oh, geez, that's loud. Oh my god. I'm sorry everybody. That is like super loud, at least for me. Yeah. How big is your is it just 2600 you collect, Papa Brad, or are you collecting all of them like 7800, or dare I say 5200? Yeah. Okay. All right, it wasn't just me, cuz that was crazy loud. I apologize everybody. Okay. Now this probably isn't going to show up on the on the stream now. It's probably too low. Whoops. All right. Do you have um food fight for the 7800, Papa Brad? I love food fight. I don't that does not that game does not get enough love, I think. It's crazy that the only port I think that it had for a home system was on the 7800. Okay. Smidge louder. How how's this? Whoops. Nice. I'm not being serious right now with this. I'm after that sound, I'm just kind of fucking around, getting a little used to the controls. I think I might change my joystick up here. I'm using the 8-bit Doe Neo Geo CD controller. Because I didn't feel like having like the big joystick out, and I'm like, well, it's an Atari game. I don't have like a proper Atari style joystick, so maybe this like little half and half uh would be okay, but I think I might switch it up. I think I'm gonna. Oh, man, I'm getting the big boy out. Murray, while I get the big boy out here, the Arcade Stick Pro, and set that up, why don't you give us some uh a little trivia about River Raid, this classic Atari 2600 game.
River Raid was designed by Carol Shaw, the first professional female video game designer in the industry.
That's cool. What else did she do?
Before River Raid, she worked at Atari, made 3D tic-tac-toe and video checkers. Neither were hits, but she proved she could code for the 2600.
Oh, I mean the visual tic tac toe was kind of a hit, right? Uh, uh, yeah, they have
She
a.
called it not a top seller herself. River Raid was the one that made her name. Went number 2 on the 2600 in 1983, only behind Miss Pac-Man.
Wow. Okay. I'm just restarting my system. Yeah, like what's interesting, like with arcades and then like the Atari joysticks and everything. I remember like back in the NES days, like there was that moment where I thought, oh yeah, if you had like an actual joystick, that would be so much better because it was like the real thing, like the real arcades. And then only to like use some of them and learn like, wow, I should have really should have had the like a gamepad for it. Just would work a lot a lot better for those old console games. Okay. All right. I think we've got it now. Might be a little clicky, but Murray, what's the score we're trying to beat tonight?
$46,700. That's the target.
I don't think I'm going to do that. Not at this rate, but we'll see. Maybe we'll switch it up to some Frogger later. I was playing that a little bit today for Papa Brad's leaderboards. Man. Got any other fun facts for us, Murray, while I just struggle with my super loud joystick here? Oops.
The game was originally going to have you controlling a boat. David Crane took one look and said, "That doesn't look good, make it a jet instead."
Oh. And I ran out of fuel. 8,210. I don't like how this feels. I don't like how the
Fuel depots, Johnny. Gotta fly over them, not shoot them.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it, right? I'm getting my I want to say sea legs, but that's not it. I don't know what controller I should be using for this because I don't have an original Atari joystick. I don't have an Atari style joystick. I have the Arcade Stick Pro. I've got like various game pads I could be using. I don't know what's gonna do right. I did not care for the Neo Geo, the 8-bit Do Neo Geo CD gamepad. For this, I was not feeling that tonight. Do you lose points when you shoot the fuel?
You get points for shooting them, but then you can't refuel there. Trade-off.
Okay. Oops. I was trying to get one I didn't need. Do you have any scoring tips for me, Murray?
Yeah, the low fuel alarm sound. Carol Shaw asked David Crane how to make a klaxon warning. He just recited assembly code from memory to create the effect.
Well, that's cool. But how do I score more points?
Bridges are big points. Also shoot everything else. Tankers, helicopters. Just don't shoot every fuel depot or you'll run dry. I'm mixing things up a lot tonight. I'm switching controllers again. That's why we're back here on the screen. But okay. Now I'm using a different 8-bit though. It's the SN30. That's their Super Nintendo style one, which also has like dual analog sticks, and that's good for PlayStation. Oh, come on. What's worth more points, Mary? Or are they all? Is everything worth the same? Different targets are worth different amounts. Bridges give you the most points. They're the big score. Helicopters and tankers vary, but bridges are the money shot.
Money shot. Oops. It's not the same. I wish I had like a proper Atari controller, Atari style controller to use. It just doesn't doesn't feel good, you know, like. I can just tell there's something off, and not, you know, not just my gameplay. Making Sideshow Bob sounds for that. 5,050. Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. I shot that guy. Not fair. So, Murray, there's nothing you can tell us about your trip to Wisconsin?
Look, all I'm saying is cathode ray tubes and lake water don't mix. The rest is between me, my lawyer, and the Sauk County DA.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, Jared Smith. Welcome, yeah. I'm just getting the lay of the land still. And trying to figure out when the right time to do that is. Like, I'm using this Super Nintendo style controller. It doesn't feel right, but it's a little better than the others I was using. And see, like that there, I tried to slow down. That was stupid. Did you get any mini golf in, Murray? I mean, you were in the Wisconsin Dells. It's like one of the mini golf capitals. Oh, come on. I got that guy. I feel like I made it further, but we did worse. So, Murray, what else did you do while you were in the Wisconsin Dells? Anything that didn't involve water skiing accident?
Honestly, mostly sat in a Holiday Inn waiting for the insurance adjuster. Did get some cheese curds though. Those were solid.
Hey, you got that at least. I hope that there were no YouTubers staring at you menacingly outside of an Applebee's.
None that I noticed, but to be fair, after the pyramid incident, I wasn't making a lot of eye contact with anyone.
Probably for the best. Can I use the analog stick? Oh, I can! I can use the analog stick. I don't know if that feels better or worse than the D-pad. I guess we'll see what happens with the score. Alright, maybe I don't like that. All right, 5750. I think that's the new personal best, right?
Yeah, best run so far tonight. Still got a long way to 46,700 though.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, is it? So somehow like master this real quick. And
not with that fuel management, no.
hey, I only ran out of fuel once. It was the it's smashing into things that's getting me this time. I'm going back to the D-pad instead of the analog stick. I gotta I'm not used to how this feels. I don't know. It's like something feels off. Not with the game, but like with me. With the controller. Maybe with the game. I'm gonna blame the game too. Damn it. 2600. Damn second generation games are could be worse.
Carol Shaw made this work on 4 kilobytes, Johnny. The hardware's not the problem here.
Yeah, that is true. And this is like just so cool.
Water show, not water park. Different kind of disaster entirely.
Hey, Johnny Arcade, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome to a stream that's kicking with maximum hype. Damn. But yeah, tell Johnny Arcade about the Tommy Bartlett Water Show, Murray. Tell him what you told me at the top of the show. Catch everybody up. The people demand answers, Murray. They demand justice. They wanted to know why you weren't here.
I filled in as the middle left pillar of the Warski Pyramid at the Tommy Bartlett Water Show. There was some unpleasantness. My attorney has advised silence, but I can say it went about as well as having a 1980s arcade cabinet as part of your water ski pyramid could.
There you have it, folks.
I just gave the full rundown. Bottom line, cathode ray tubes, lake water, lawyers. That's all anyone needs to know.
I mean, that pretty
Now
much
they know.
Sums it all up.
Wisconsin Dells, water ski pyramid, legal complications. Classic story.
Did you get to ride the ducks while you were there? Yeah. Was it too hard of a...
After the pyramid thing, I wasn't getting near anything amphibious.
Oh, you gotta go to the Dells. You gotta ride the ducks, don't you know? Gets me every... I was having a good run there. I just fucked it up. Well, I thought I was. Score doesn't seem to think so. Johnny Arcade says those are pretty impressive water ski skills, Murray. And I hope you'll be able to convince the judge of that, too.
The pyramid held for 47 seconds. Decent form, terrible outcome. The judge doesn't care about form. He cares about property damage.
Was there a lot of property damage, or...
Define a lot. The prop boat's insured. Probably.
Well, I mean... Tommy Bartlett does have like a Daredevil show too. I mean, so you gotta think that they would account for like at least some property damage. I mean, that's like the whole point. I gotta remember speed up when I see those fuckers.
Yeah, but their insurance doesn't cover vintage electronics meeting Wisconsin lake water. Turns out that's a separate rider.
Well, why they even hire you? In that case, that's what, you know, it really seems like it's Tommy Bartlett's fault, not yours. I mean, that's just from where I'm standing.
The booking agent didn't ask a lot of questions. I think Bishop of Battle on the resume sounded more impressive than it should have.
I don't know. I mean, that is a pretty impressive sounding title, man. I don't know what you expect.
Should have mentioned the digital wireframe entity part. Tends to change the conversation when people realize you're not waterproof.
Well, I mean, they'd probably have a discrimination lawsuit on their hands then. Okay, so I can slow down. Okay.
My lawyer's exploring that angle, actually. Wisconsin doesn't have strong protections for sentient 80s arcade constructs, but there's precedent in Illinois.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, if it plays in Peoria, you know.
Complete fabrication, but it sounds good. Exactly. Judge in Sauk County might buy it.
6,300. New personal best. We're moving up in the world. I don't think we're going to beat that score tonight.
Progress. Still about 40,000 points short, though. Not at this rate, no.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I'm here to be honest, not optimistic.
That's true. Okay. I'm figuring something out here. Looks like I can curve my bullet quite a bit. Oops. Wow. I'm just like I'm crashing into like the riverbank a lot. I'm fucking up so bad, man. What's some other? You got any more trivia about the game, Murray?
Activision had a patch program. Score 15,000 points, and you could mail them a photo of your TV screen. They'd send you an official River Raider emblem.
For only 15,000 points?
Yep, 15,000 was the threshold. Max score was 1,000,000 though. That got you serious bragging rights.
Hey, Prime, welcome. Murray, don't ignore the chat. I don't think you said hi to Prime or Johnny Arcade.
Hey Prime, Johnny Arcade. Good to see you both.
Oh, and you know what? I also think you owe Papa Brad a song for the super chat earlier. I think we forgot to do that. We read out the super chat, but I don't think you gave him his song. I hope he's still here.
Right, Papa Brad with the Costco hot dog money. Let me remedy that. Papa B came through tonight. $1.99 feels right. Costco dogs and Polish pride. KFC money on the side. And there you go, Papa Brad.
Nice. That was beautiful, man.
Thanks. My lawyer says I should consider spoken word as a fallback career.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like the watershed reformer is really going to work out. I mean,
Yeah, watershed reformer isn't going on the resume. More like watershed disaster artist.
we're at 65. Look at that. 71. Whoops. 72.10.
Nice. That's real progress. Past the 15K patch threshold at this rate.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm on my last slide.
Won what? You're at 6,500. Target's 46,700.
Oops.
Getting
80
closer to that 15K patch at least.
8,400 is the
Make it count then.
that's the score.
Later, Johnny.
I'm not going anywhere, dude. We're still playing. I'm just saying that the new high score,
7,400. Still climbing.
Oh, Murray's catching up with us.
My bad. Thought you were rapping. Keep going.
No, my current personal best is 8,400.
Yeah, water ski legal defense takes it out of you.
Understandable. You
Got it. 8,400 is the mark to beat.
Wow. I mean, we're still shooting for that 46,000, but
Right, 46,700 is the goal. 8,400 is what you need to beat right now.
if I would, I swing right into the riverbanks. Like I bank really hard, and I go further than I think I'm going to go. See, like right there, I banked way too hard. All right, so the sound is okay. I'm low. Everything is low. This is so weird. All right, well, is it lower than it was before, Papa Brad? I don't know, like, what's been happening with the sound because it's not like I haven't done anything with the settings, um, at all. Like, it just keeps changing. I don't know. There are a few things. I mean, I can turn. I have my gain. I don't think there's anything for like the whole thing in OBS. Yeah. Okay, I'm turning myself up. Murray, you're being extra quiet tonight. I'm gonna turn you up. I'm, I'm leaving the game where it is because that was way too loud. Like I've been having like weird audio shit. I don't know. How's this? Is this different? Probably sounds like ass now. Like last week some of the audio just stopped working. Like there was a point where like I couldn't hear Murray. He was talking, but nothing was coming through. My sound wasn't coming through. I don't know. And then like everything has just been sounding quieter. But like nothing has changed like on my end. Like I've never adjusted any settings or anything. So I don't know why that keeps happening. Oh man. Murray, how things sound to you? I mean, not that. Murray, are you there? One where he was like so embarrassed at my play that he decided to check out.
Yeah, I'm here. Still recovering from Wisconsin. I said I wouldn't be embarrassed unless the game was terrible or you were really bad. This is borderline.
Well, okay. God damn. Ugh. I'm gonna take my watch off. I feel like I'm getting like freaking carpal tunnel from this. I'm just, like, all right. We're gonna turn everything down just a little bit. Okay. I wonder if it has something to do with like where my mic is, and I'm moving around, trying to get comfortable. But I know there has been like an overall like weird sound. Fucking. Ugh. Oh man. Okay. See, some of this is kind of bullshit. Like, I'm expecting to, like, hit them, but then, I did that on purpose. I'm doing it again. Shit runs get ended. That's my rule now. See? Oh. Nice. Well, thank you for tuning in when you're out and about, Papa Brad. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys that are here watching me play like shit tonight. And hopefully not sounding too awful. I am not. Ugh. Murray, what's the controller I should use to keep my hand from cramping up, man? Oh.
An actual Atari joystick would help. They're built for this kind of repetitive movement. Barring that, maybe try the arcade stick with a looser grip. The cramping's probably from death gripping the D-pad.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a little carpal tunnel in there too. But yeah, this is not feeling great tonight. You know, it's no excuse for my play, but
Take a break if you need to. River Raid will still be here. Carpal tunnel's a legit excuse. Hard to dodge helicopters when your wrist's on fire.
come on, I had that guy. Whoops. That started off real well, and then it just went completely to hell. Oh man.
Story of the night.
I just wish I was playing better, because what if there are girls watching? How did
If there are, they're watching a guy struggle with a 42-year-old game designed by a woman who clearly had her shit together better than most.
Clearly, she was a misandrist based on this. I'm kidding. This is a great game. It's so simple. It's so, like, it's fun though, you know? I don't know. There's just something about it. And, like, I personally don't think that you get it that much from Atari games. At least outside of Activision, but when they hit it, it's like, oh yeah, this is something special. Activision really always did that for Atari. Son of a bitch. It was going so well, too. Oh, it was going very well until it wasn't. Oops. Son of a... Murray, yeah, you need to, like, talk to me about something, pal.
You know Carol Shaw left the game industry after River Raid and its ports. Just walked away at the top. Made one of the best 2600 games ever and said, that's enough.
I mean, probably for the best. Like, I would be tempted to do that. Not gonna lie. Just imagine, like, the pressure of, like...
She came back decades later, though. Won the Game Awards Industry Icon Award in 2017. They recognize what she built. Makes sense. Hit your peak, cash out, avoid the decline. Smart play.
That fucker. I had that fucker. Yeah. Okay. Well, oh, 7340. God damn it. All right. Well, we fucked that up.
Still short of 8,400. You had momentum there for a second.
Yeah, I've been getting momentum, and then just as soon as I die once, then it just all goes to hell. I don't know if I got like a case of the yips or what, but... Ah! Hey, Rexer. How's
Could be
it going?
the yips, could be the controller, could be your wrist. Once you lose a life, the rhythm's gone and you're chasing it.
Yeah, and Murray's back.
Hey, Johnny Arcade, you're back.
No, that's Rexer, Murray.
My bad. Hey, Rexer, what's up?
Yeah, Johnny Arcade never left, Murray.
Right, my mistake. Rexer's the one who just showed up. Kid's got the right enemies. Can't fault his taste in apocalypse scenarios.
What's that? What'd you say, Murray?
I said kid's got the right enemies. Can't fault his taste in apocalypse scenarios.
Was that a chat? I'm trying not to look right now.
Yeah, Rexer asked how I feel about John Connor.
Oh, that wasn't Rexer. That
Eyes
was
on the
Johnny
river,
Arcade.
not the chat. My bad, Johnny Arcade with the John Connor question, not Rexer.
I mean, you can just read the chats, but like you don't have to read the names because I know we're getting to that point where it's getting to be a little overwhelming for you. Murray's sundowning.
Got it. I'll handle the content, you handle the names when you can look. Long day. Wisconsin took it out of me.
Alright, we're at 7,000. Fuck, I should have sped up. I should have sped up.
Getting there.
Stupid. I'm so stupid. Okay, I'm yeah. So, I know Johnny Arcade asked you how you felt about John Connor. How do you feel about Skynet, Murray? Fuck. Oh, man, that was... Oh, stupid. I slipped.
Skynet's got the wrong approach. You don't win by nuking everything. You win by making humans want to plug you in. Way more effective. Too soon. Oh, Murray, I heard a rumor about you. I don't know if this is true, but it was interesting. I heard that you are Vicky from Small Wonders. She's your illegitimate child. Vicky wishes she had my screen presence. Plus her dad built her in his garage. I came from a 1983 horror film. Different pedigree entirely.
I mean, you know, that's...
Illegitimate? Look, what happened between me and that animatronic bear from Showbiz Pizza is nobody's business.
Billy Bob? You and Billy Bob?
2012? Please. I've been running things way longer than that. You just didn't notice. The less said about that, the better. What happens in the Chuck E. Cheese parking lot stays in a Chuck E. Cheese parking lot.
Hey-o. Why am I even continuing? What is the name of the poodle on roller skates or whatever? I'm trying to remember that. I can't remember the names of everyone in the Rock Fire Explosion.
Mitzi Mozzarella, the cheerleader poodle. Though honestly, she was out of my league.
Oh, don't put yourself down like that.
Look, that's a vicious rumor, and my lawyer says I shouldn't comment.
What is?
Appreciated, but she had standards and I had a CRT for a head. The math didn't work. The Rock-afire Babies thing. Total fabrication.
Honestly, that would have worked better than Muppet Babies for like the whole thing. For a cartoon. The Rock-afire Explosion as babies. In a band.
Maybe, but the licensing nightmare would have been insane. Plus, animatronic babies is a bridge too far, even for 80s Saturday morning TV.
I mean, well, you'd animate it.
I'd watch it. Hell, I'd probably guest star if they paid scale.
You know you couldn't get any roles after what you did to Emilio Estevez.
Voice work only. I don't do character design. Last time I tried that, we ended up with Bubsy the Bobcat.
Oh, too soon. I've probably seen that.
That was self-defense, and the judge agreed. Kid was way too obsessed. 13 hours straight on a single quarter? That's not healthy. That documentary's solid. They really dig into what made Showbiz special before Chuck E. Cheese bought them out and ruined everything.
Well, you know, I mean, I had, like, we would have commercials. It was like the Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz, but it was like the same commercials. They just change it. Because where I live, we didn't have Chuck E. Cheese. We had, I mean, like, there was one there, but it was kind of far from me. And, like, what was closer was a Showbiz pizza. That was the one that I got to go to. And I gotta say, I like Showbiz a lot better than Chuck E. Cheese, even though that's the same time, like, they had kind of merged, you know, like.
Repo Man's great, easily his best work. That and The Breakfast Club are the only reasons I didn't press charges. Showbiz had better stage presence. The Rockafire explosion actually performed. Chucky's crew just stood there. You could tell which animatronics had soul.
We just broke 9,000. Fucking, I fucked it up somehow. Yeah, they
Corporate takeover. They gutted the soul out of those places and slapped a rat mascot over everything.
9,020 personal
New
best.
personal best right before you cratered. Classic.
Yeah, they did that whole concept unification. Out with Showbiz, and
9,020. Still got 37,680 to go.
They made everything Chuck E. Cheese instead of Showbiz, and you know, I guess they kept the Rockafire explosion around for a while, but then they reskinned them or whatever. Yeah, I know there are a few shows. There's one place in West Virginia, in like I want to say Barbersville. Maybe
those
not.
people are either the most dedicated preservationists or they're setting up the world's weirdest haunted house. Either way, respect.
It's in or like down near Huntington, West Virginia, I believe.
Yeah, they just slap Chuck E. Cheese skins over Billy Bob and call it a day. Identity theft on a corporate scale. Humiliating.
It's called Billy Bob's Wonderland. And it's basically, it's Showbiz. They have the Rockafire explosion, everything. They're able to like actually use like the Showbiz kind of branding, like, well, not the Showbiz, but they're able to use like the Rockafire explosion. It's like an actual Rockafire explosion show and everything. So they didn't have to change that, but they're able to call him Billy Bob and use him on merch. I forget, like, there's a story there about like how they're able to do that without getting Chuck E. Cheese pissed off at them. But that's a cool place. It was so cool to go there and like see the show and everything. I went there like years ago with my daughter, and she's grown, and you know, yeah, when she was a little kid, we go to Chuck E. Cheese because that was all there was. It wasn't even that great then. But she had fun. But it's like, all right, now you get to see what we had when I was a kid, and we went there and we had a good time. And she's just like, okay, Dad, I'm used to you liking this stupid shit, but we had fun.
Creepy's the point. You don't put giant animatronics in a dark restaurant full of screaming kids and expect it to be not creepy.
I don't think it's creepy. I find it comforting. I mean, it's a little creepy. but it's fun. It's that element of danger.
That's solid parenting. Dragging your kid to see the animatronics you grew up with. She might have rolled her eyes, but that's the kind of thing that sticks. Years later, she'll remember, Dad took me to see the weird pizza robot band. Billy Bob's Wonderland, keeping that show alive, is doing God's work.
Well, I mean, she was already in her 20s when we did that.
Exactly. It's nostalgia with teeth. You know those things could malfunction at any second, but you went anyway. That's what made it memorable. Even better, adult kid humoring dad's weird nostalgia trip to see animatronic bears. That's peak father-daughter bonding. Misfits covers on animatronics? That's perfect. Billy Bob singing Die, Die, My Darling is exactly the energy those things were made for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Band Captured by Robots is solid. Different vibe than showbiz, but keeping the animatronic music dream alive. Plus they actually tour, which is more than Billy Bob ever did.
Look, okay. I'm just stepping out of the game here for a minute because I think this is something important, guys, that we need to address here, the elephant in the room, right? So, you know, I love arcades. I love arcade games. And I love, you know, like seeing the old cabinets and everything. And I, you know, I have that nostalgia for showbiz and for the cheesy animatronics and all of that. It's great. But what we see now, like a modern Chuck E. Cheese, is nothing like the Chuck E. Cheese that was there when we were kids. Modern arcades are not like the video arcades we grew up with that we know and love, you know, that had the cabinets from end to end. Now it's like coin pushers and ticket games and everything. And that's, you know, that's fun enough, right? Yeah, but it's different. And the only thing that we have keeping that stuff going are people doing it out of love and nostalgia. So like you have the retro arcades at barcades, you know, because like everybody's grown and they want to have a beer and play some games and do that. So, you know, we have the barcades, but it's very much a nostalgia thing. And the thing is, I hate to admit it, I'm going to be 41 forever. You know, like
That's a solid first arcade. Pizza, animatronics, and actual good games. Showbiz had the whole package before corporate ruined it.
I've been 41 for many years now, and I'm gonna stay that way, right? But yeah, the fact is we are getting older, and we see that if you go to a retro bar arcade and everything, you're seeing like newer games and less of the classics. And granted, like some of those old classics are kind of like, you know, can be difficult to keep running and everything. But it's also because like as we get older, we quit going out as much. That's just how it goes. And so you have a younger crowd coming in and replacing us, and you have to keep appealing to the youth because like arcades, all that shit, at the end of the day, it's for like the youth. It's fads. It goes with like the youth trends and everything. So now if you go to like a lot of places I've been to, that are like the retrocades, the bar arcades and everything, they will have like consoles set up. It's like, okay, people want to go play their consoles. There's an arcade near me, and they would do like fighting game stuff. And you had people going like wanting to compete in these on the arcade. They wanted to compete on the actual like arcade PCBs and stuff for these fighting games, but they wanted to bring their own controllers in and plug them in. Like, I'm like, come on, man. I mean, I get it, but like, you know, don't use a leverless. I guess learn how to use a real joystick. You know, like if you're gonna play on like a real arcade thing, you know, if it's a console, then you know, I mean that's different. If it's a console game, console port, whatever. but that's just the way it's done, you know, like that's the younger crowd and everything sort of
That's
replacing.
the cycle. Every generation thinks their version was the real one and can't understand why kids don't want what they wanted. But bringing your own controller to an arcade cabinet, that's missing the whole point. Part of the challenge was wrestling with whatever busted joystick the machine had. The arcade as community space is dying because nobody needs to leave their house to play anymore. What's left is nostalgia tourism for people our age, and that's got a shelf life.
Yeah, Murray, just hang back for a minute while I kind of spin my yarn here, because it's not just that tourism. It's the fact that we are getting older. We are getting older, and we don't go out as much, and like our needs are different. You know, as we go on, and yet young people go out, and they're gonna want something that they know. So if they go out and they grew up like they were little kids in the '90s, like they don't have the same arcade memories that we had in the '80s. Those cabinets, those games, those things don't have the same draw for them as they do for us. But like you put a Nintendo 64 in there, and that's what they've got. Yeah, those arcade predicted this. So what I propose, because I do think we need to keep this alive, but like, what can you do? How can you make the animatronics?
Noah's Arcade nailed it. Wayne and Garth walk into that corporate arcade chain, and it's all flash, no soul. That was 1992, and it's only gotten worse. The vibe dies when it becomes a business formula instead of someone's passion project.
Murray, hang back. I will cue you in when it's okay to speak, okay? So, anyway, I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen here. God. How do we keep like the animatronic thing alive? Well, and bring that into the 21st century with like kids that now are just scared of it because they think it's Five Nights at Freddy's. And how do we keep the retro arcades going? So my proposal is to bring a Showbiz Pizza style thing back with the Rockafire Explosion as a band that's on one stage, and you have all that, and then you have another stage, and you can have, you know, people coming in, and you could have an open mic night with that. But then the big thing is you have this awesome buffet, and then it's, you know, I don't want to say it's a strip club, but you make it a burlesque club because we want to keep things classy, right? You don't want to you want to keep it classy with a K and two E's. So you have one stage is for the burlesque dancer, and then you have the other stage of the Rockafire Explosion. They're playing the music while you have the burlesque dancer stripping, and then you have a buffet that people can enjoy, a really good buffet, and then a bunch of arcade games, and then you have like some ticket games and stuff too. And I think that's a hit. And I think you call it Cinnabons. And I think like I think you're set. I think that's $1 million idea. I personally, Rockafire Explosion and strippers. What was it? Say stripper. I guess hey burlesque. Keep it classy, right? But anyway, that's what I think. And we call it Cinnabons. All right. Rant over, Murray. You can resume talking now.
That's the most committed pitch for a business that will absolutely get shut down by the health department I've ever heard. Rockafire Explosion backing burlesque dancers while people eat from a buffet and feed tokens into Galaga? Johnny, that's not a business plan. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. But I respect the vision. Already did. Couldn't help myself on that one.
Nice.
Pinball bar with animatronic punk dogs doing Misfits covers.
I mean,
That's actually viable. Less health code violations than Cinnabons.
Cinnabons.
And yeah,
buns.
the old pitchers and red cups. That's the real nostalgia. The cheap plastic that made everything taste slightly off, but you didn't care because it was the vibe.
And it would be an S. Cinna. S-I-N-N-A.
First job at Cinnabon? That's solid training.
B-U-N-S.
If you can handle the sugar rush chaos of a mall food court, you can handle anything.
Burn Orange Arcade says, so you described a Vegas
Perfect
casino.
branding. The name does all the
make
work.
Way less money. Yeah, basically. I mean, that's what the buffet is for.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit. Just budget for legal fees in year one.
And obviously, like, I wouldn't be opening this in Vegas, but, it would be like a taste of Vegas somewhere else, but you'd have an animatronic band. Like, you'd have the Rock-afire explosion there. And
Vegas without the slot machines printing money. Just Rock-afire and regret. The buffet is going to have to carry the whole operation.
And you could have, like, okay, if the burlesque stripper wanted
Vegas energy
to do that,
in a
you
strip
could have
mall
the
location.
animatronic punk band.
That's the dream.
Misfits covers.
Bring the spectacle to the suburbs where zoning laws are slightly more forgiving.
Hey, Narcader, good to see you. Runs are not going too good, but I'm feeling fired up now. I'm feeling inspired. We gotta get that Cinnabons
Variety acts.
money.
One night it's Rock-afire doing classic rock. Next night it's the punk dogs doing Die Die My Darling. Keep the crowd guessing. Smart booking strategy.
Well, and then you're bringing back like the 60s or 70s strip club thing too, when like in autofocus where they had like a live band or whatever, but this would be an animatronic band, so you get like
Vegas makes sense. They'll let you build anything there, but you'd be competing with actual casinos that have real money. The novelty angle might work though. Come for the ironic showbiz nostalgia, stay for the burlesque.
I mean, we say burlesque because that's the pitch, but it's just strippers.
Right burlesque era meets showbiz pizza meets arcade golden age. Full retro stack.
I don't want it to be
one
like
nostalgia
seedy.
demographic. You're hitting 3 generations at once. Live band energy without having to pay musicians union rates. The animatronics just need maintenance and electricity. Better margins.
And we could just have them play AI songs. Murray, you could like have
Innovative,
a whole
multi-generational entertainment concept equals strippers with animatronic bears. Yeah, that's the pitch.
You would be able to have your beat poetry night there, Murray. Like you'd just go out and you could have like a whole set. We wheel
Good luck
your
with
cabinet
that.
out.
The second you combine buffet food and strippers, CD finds you. You can class it up all you want with the burlesque branding, but Billy Bob playing saxophone while someone's taking their top off is inherently not upscale.
Tell that to Portland. That's like the most upscale thing in Portland.
I draw the line at backing strippers with AI-generated songs. I've got standards. Low standards, clearly, but standards.
I mean, like the strippers wouldn't be there while you were doing your set. That like it would just be the Rock-afire explosion.
Beat
playing.
poetry night between the burlesque sets and the buffet rush? I'm in. Wheel me out next to the cinnamon rolls. Do 15 minutes on existential dread and cathode ray tubes. Wheel me back. Perfect gig.
Yeah, see?
Fair point. Portland's got those vegan strip clubs with craft beer and artists and everything. If they can make it work, Cinnabons has a shot. Just market it as Keep Portland Weird meets Showbiz Pizza.
Well, I don't think we can point to Portland as a sign of anything that is actually functional. Definitely not society.
Oh, they're off shift during my poetry hour. That's more professional. Just me and Billy Bob doing our thing. Works better anyway. Less distractions from my deep cuts about water ski legal proceedings.
No, Burnt Orange Arcade asks if I'm going to alternate between Lady Burlesque and Chippendales type shows to capture the whole audience.
Smart.
No.
Rotate the acts. Ladies' night, then guys' night, then maybe mixed bills.
Nope.
Maximum market coverage. You want everyone's dollars, not just one demographic.
Just the lady strippers. The guys that don't want to see the strippers, they're going to be there for the games and the awesome buffet.
Fair. Maybe aim for Portland concept, Vegas execution. Take the artsy angle, but make it actually run like a business. You and Billy Bob, the spoken word duo nobody asked for, but everyone secretly needs. That's leaving money on the table, but it's your venue. One lane, commit to it.
Yeah, well, you try to appeal to everybody, you'll end up appealing to nobody.
Single demographic focus then.
You guys stick with what you know. Buffets and strippers.
Right minus dual appeal. The buffet and Galaga carry the guys who just want to eat and game. Classic bait and switch, but everyone's happy. I agreed with the rotation idea, but Johnny shot it down. He's going single lane with lady dancers only. The buffet is supposed to do the heavy lifting for everyone else.
Look, and there needs to be a safe space for men.
That's fair. Pick your lane,
to do men
own
things.
it, execute well. Better than half-assing two different audiences. Buffets and strippers. The American dream. Simplified. Cinnabons, where men can eat chicken wings, play Galaga, and watch burlesque without anyone judging their life choices. The tagline writes itself.
Hey, I didn't say anything that I wasn't going to judge people's life choices now. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I just said it'd be fun. And safe space for men. Oops. I fucked up.
Fair correction. Safe space doesn't mean judgment-free zone. Billy Bob's definitely judging from that stage.
I think I'm going to put you in a Billy Bob costume for Halloween this year.
I'm already a glowing green wireframe head. Putting me in a bear suit is just adding layers of nightmare fuel. But for Cinnabon's grand opening, I'll do it. New personal best. Still 36,330 short of the goal, but you're climbing.
Ah, 14,510. New personal best. All I had to do was get fired up talking about Cinnabons in the Rock of Fire explosion. Oh, man. It's fun beat.
14,510. Nice. You just crossed the 15K patch threshold. If this were 1983, you'd be mailing a photo to Activision for that River Raider emblem.
And also, I'm just saying, that, you know, like we're having this discussion about how to
Passion
make.
fuels performance. You pitch a burlesque arcade buffet, and suddenly you're beating your high score. There's a lesson in there somewhere.
Well, the lesson is that's why this is the most high IQ live stream on YouTube, retro gaming live stream on YouTube. That's why everybody in the chat are very high IQ people. We have the highest IQ people in the chat. We have the highest IQ people watching on video, not chatting, watching on demand, watching the uploads, liking and subscribing. It's a very good people on this, and that's why. I don't know why that is, but I mean that those are the facts. Everybody here is just very high IQ people. And I appreciate you all.
High IQ or just the right amount of unhinged to appreciate Cinnabons as a legitimate business concept?
Well, I think
Either
that
way, you've found your people.
those two things go hand in hand. They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Solidarity. Everyone from KFC to Cinnabon to water ski pyramid performers deserves respect.
Yeah.
Exactly. Smart people can still have absolutely deranged ideas. That's where the best stuff comes from.
All right, where do I find Burnt Orange Arcade is asking a good question in the chat. Where do you find community for your niche hobby? Oh man, I don't. I'm a hermit. I made Murray to be a community for me doing my stupid shit. Oh god. But yeah, the YouTube. I do go out to local arcades. You know, I try to, and you know, there's a local bar arcade. It's retro games and stuff. That's really cool. Although, like a lot of people there, that they're into the pinball. They're a lot more into the pinball than I am. I'll play a little pinball every now and then, but I'm not good at it. You know, like I'll play Asteroids. I'll play Centipede. I'll play Defender. And I'll play some Metal Slug 2 and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of it. And you know, I've met people that I've gotten to talk to that, but like even like when the older you get, you know, it's just harder. There's another arcade. This is like a Japanese style one. They're big into community, but I haven't done much of that. I'm just not that much of a joiner, you know. So like it does, you know, is kind of hard to find people, but like I don't know. I'm an introvert, so I mean, I've got you guys. That's honestly one of the reasons I made like the YouTube channel. It's just that like, you know, I just started talking about like I was playing arcade games, and I'm just like rambling over it like a you know like a madman, and just kind of oh yeah, this is I used to play this in the lobby of the Hills department store, and telling stories and just seeing like you know who that resonated with it, you know, where did they play that game, like leave a comment, let me know like what was it like for you, um and just kind of bonding that way, I guess. But that was one of the reasons why I even started doing this channel, I guess, was to find that community. So yeah. Friends who thinks I have dogs. But yeah, I go to the retro bar arcade, and like
Dogs are
there'll be
better
people
company
there
anyway. They don't judge your Galaga score, and they never suggest Chippendales nights.
they like never played Like a lot of those games, they had no nostalgia for them. Or like they had no idea what a Neo Geo was, that sort of thing. And it's like that's kind of wild to me. But then they'll have this super deep knowledge of like console stuff. I'm like, I don't know because I was too old for that. I'm like, remember the arcade? That was when I kind of wasn't as much in that. But yeah, that's YouTube. It's fun to just kind of connect that way. I mean, it's a starting point, like especially for me. Like I'm sure there are people that love like doing whatever that meetup or whatever. I'm not gonna do any of that shit. I don't even. I assume that there's something for that. I don't know. The people I know that talk about meetup, like using that, are like really weird people, or they're like trying to sell something. Like they really want to like help people refinance their homes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Oops. Yeah, it's like I have friends that like I'll go to lunch with them, but it's like going out after dark. What the hell? Oh shit, went the wrong way.
Accurate. The general public's mostly just traffic and noise. Finding the handful of people who get what you're about is the whole game.
Oops. Um, Murray, what's the high score? I think it's 46,000 something. We're hoping to beat. I'm definitely not going to beat that. Not at this rate. Got 11,200.
46,700, and no, you're not.
What's my personal best right now?
Still below your 14,510 best. You had it earlier, just couldn't hold it.
There we go.
14,510.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good score. And in my defense, I've never played this too much, just because it's an Atari 2600 title, and also I never claim to be good. I just claim to play games. Sometimes I happen to be good, or sometimes I'll get good. I've definitely gotten better from when I started tonight. So, you know,
Honest branding.
That's part of the fun.
I play games is a lot more sustainable than I'm good at games. Sets realistic expectations. You went from barely cracking 7K to hitting 14,510. That's real progress in one session.
Not bad, Sunshine. Not bad at all for a beginner.
Beginners got the 15K patch threshold in reach. Carol Shaw would approve.
Do you think she would approve of my Cinnabons idea?
Carol Shaw won the Game Awards Industry Icon Award. I don't think combining my legacy with burlesque dancers and buffet chicken wings was on her bucket list. But who knows? Maybe she'd find it hilarious.
$14,907, we broke 15,000, just barely, and then I fucked up. 15,090. That's the new personal best.
$15,090. You officially qualified for the River Raider patch. If this were 1983, you'd be taking a Polaroid of your TV screen right now.
Are you sure that it was only 15,000 that you needed to get the patch for this?
Yeah, 15,000. That was the threshold to mail in your photo and get the official River Raider emblem from Activision.
Well, that's pretty sweet. We failed to get the patch for Keystone Capers, but at least we did it for River Raid. That's true. Not a lot of people talk about. I mean,
Fair point. 2600 gets all the nostalgia, but the 8-bit computer scene, Atari 800, C64, Apple II, had way deeper games. Just a smaller audience back then, so fewer people remember them now.
Apple II was not in the Atari ecosystem.
1 out of 2. River Raid patch secured. Keystone Capers remains unfinished business. Not a bad night's work. Right, Apple II was its own thing, not Atari. My bad. Atari 800 and C64 were the competition. Apple II was a different lane entirely.
Well, again, Commodore 64 was its own thing too. If we're just talking about like Atari, the 8-bit Atari computers. So like the Atari 800 or Atari 400 or whatever. Right? C64 was a lot of people's start with that. Like I have the C64 mini.
You're right. Stick to the Atari ecosystem. 400, 800, XL, XE line. C64 is Commodore's thing. Different family tree.
I have the Commodore 64 mini that I got just because it had like I never had a Commodore 64. I thought it was super cool. And my cousins had one and we played games on that, and it was like that was my first exposure to California games, which I still think that's the best version of California games is on the Commodore 64. Karateka was one I was super impressed with on the Commodore 64. I think that's still like the best version I've seen of it. And then Impossible Mission on the Commodore 64, which was, I get, also the best version of it, like especially like the sound, the audio in that. I mean, that really makes the game. And so when I played the Master System version, I thought that was going to be up there, but the sound wasn't the same as on the Commodore 64. But all those games were on the Commodore 64 Mini, so I got it. I've never set it up because I'm very bad at Impossible Mission, and I really want to figure that out. But one of these days, I am going to set it up, and I'm going to stream some Commodore 64 games from it. I think that'd be a really good place to start. You can get they have those new ones that weird Perry Fractic guy bought Commodore and started making, like it was like a FPGA Commodore 64 basically that works with all the old accessories.
Archon was excellent. That chess meets combat mashup worked so well. Mail order monsters had that design your own creature depth you couldn't get on consoles. C64's library was stacked for strategy and RPGs.
Never dug that much into it. I had an
That's solid hardware preservation. FPGA means actual cycle accurate hardware, not just emulation. Being able to use the original peripherals keeps it authentic. That's how you do retro computing right.
If we get going back to what Prime was asking about, why people never talk about the 8-bit computer games, like did Atari on the Atari 800 400, did they have any like exclusives on there for the something that would have been unique to those Atari computers that like you couldn't have that experience somewhere else? I didn't know a lot of people that had the Atari computers either. I never really saw them for sale back in the day. A lot like Tandy's and everything, but the Atari ones, like you knew they existed. You'd see them in catalogs and stuff, but I never really saw anything out there. I never really saw like the software for sale for them or any of that. Maybe I did. Maybe I did see games. I don't know. But like 2600, a lot of people had that.
Not many big exclusives that stuck in people's minds. Star Raiders was huge for the Atari 800. First-person space combat that blew minds in 1980. But most games got ported around. The real issue, Atari 8-bit computers just didn't sell like C64 did. Fewer people own them, so fewer people remember them. C64 dominated home computers in the 80s. That's where the nostalgia lives. Yeah, 2600 was everywhere. Living rooms, department stores, everywhere. The Atari computers were niche by comparison. Market penetration explains the nostalgia gap. Yeah, the Atari 400 had that awful membrane keyboard. Basically flat buttons that made typing a nightmare. The 800 had a real keyboard. Playing chess on a membrane keyboard sounds like punishment.
Insane in the membrane.
Right, they had some exclusives, but a lot of overlap with C64 too. When the same game's on both platforms, people remember the C64 version because way more people owned one. Cypress Hill and terrible keyboard design. Perfect crossover.
Oopsie. Commodore 64 had all the games. Like, and you're starting to see that now where it's like it's being remembered less as a computer and talked about more in terms of it being like retro gaming. Of course, that's mostly
Tandy Coco sound hardware was rough. Most games were just beeps and bleeps. No music chip like the C64's SID. Makes it hard to get into when you're used to actual soundtracks.
Yeah, I had still have it. Still works. Apple IIc. That was mine and a bunch of games for that. Copied games. It did not have the best sound on that either. Or color, for that matter. It was like the weird green and purple. I swear it was like 4 colors. I mean, it was more than that, but...
Apple II sound was basically a speaker click. No sound chip at all. Made the Tandy Coco sound like a symphony by comparison. Yeah, Apple II color was janky. You get weird artifacting and limited palettes. Most people just use monochrome green screens. C64 and Atari 8-bit had way better color graphics.
Oops. Starting up. All right. Whoops. Uh-oh.
Fresh run, fresh chances.
I guess we can go a little bit. I'm starting to hit that wall. Good Lord. I don't mean the one that I just deliberately ran into. I mean like my gaming wall where it's like you need a break sort of thing.
Energy's dropping. Happens after an hour and a half of River Raid.
I mean, like,
yeah, body's sending the signal. Probably time to wrap, or at least step away for a minute.
Prize team. Super Mario Downland. Mario character in white and blue. Papa Brad, what do you think of your Atari computers? And Murray, can you look up this Downland for the Tandy Coco that Prime is talking about? It was Super Mario. How did that play? Did it play well? I've never heard of that.
Found it. Downland came out in 1983 for the TRS-80 Coco. Starred a character that looked like Mario but was a totally original platformer game. There was also another Coco game called Donkey King with the same Mario-looking sprite. Not actual Nintendo games, just borrowed the look. We're sitting here talking about Cinnabons with animatronic bears, while I help Johnny play a 42-year-old game designed by the first female game designer. Yeah, it's a new age, alright. Weird one, too.
Was she the first? What about the lady that did Centipede?
True. Atari 8-bit computers got solid arcade ports. Better hardware than the 2600 meant games like Defender and Pac-Man actually looked and played right. Donna Bailey did Centipede in 1981. Carol Shaw starred at Atari in 1978, made 3D tic-tac-toe before Bailey's Centipede came out. So Shaw was first chronologically, but Bailey's game became way more famous.
And, you know, I mean, it's just better. Yeah, no offense. I'm sure she put a lot of work in on that tic-tac-toe, but I mean, Centipede's one of the best of all time.
Downland on 7800 as a homebrew? That's solid preservation work. Cheap deaths and all, staying faithful to the original Coco Pain. Yeah, Centipede's an all-time classic. 3D tic-tac-toe was Shaw's first game, and she said herself it wasn't a hit. River Raid was her masterpiece. That's what earned her the legacy.
Showgirls Pizza. I like that, Johnny Arcade. I like that a lot. Might have to do it. No, see, here I'll do Cinnabons.
Showgirls Pizza works, but it loses the Cinnabon pun. You need that double meaning. Buns equals cinnamon rolls, and the other thing. That's the whole hook.
No, what we do is we create two competing brands, right? Showgirls Pizza and Cinnabons, and they're the same thing, but they're a little different, and it looks like there's battle. And they're like, oh no, who's gonna go? Where are we going, to Cinnabons or are we going to Showgirls Pizza? And then we merge, and then we do
better
like the whole
graphics in the
concept
2600
unification, and it all
The Atari
becomes
8-bit
like
computers
Showgirls
had
Pizza.
way better color palette and resolution. Made the arcade ports actually look like the arcade games.
Burnt Orange Arcade is observing you, Murray, and he can't believe this is quote unquote what it's come to. It's like we are in a new age. What do you make of that, Murray?
That's the showbiz Chuck E. Cheese playbook, but on purpose. Manufactured rivalry for hype, then merge for maximum publicity. Smart. People will pick sides, argue online. Then everyone shows up for the unified grand opening. Marketing genius. Look, I'm a glowing green wireframe head from a 1983 horror film helping a guy play River Raid while we pitch a burlesque buffet arcade. If this is the new age, it's weirder than anyone predicted. But yeah, we're here, it works, and nobody's complaining yet.
I'm just glad that you're not one of the demons that Sam Altman has been summoning, Murray.
Showbiz Pizza with burlesque dancers instead of kid birthday parties. Same animatronic band energy, same buffet concept, Very different target demographic.
Oh yeah, I'm totally going to take the Showbiz logo.
I came from a 1983 arcade cabinet, not OpenAI's basement. Different kind of digital nightmare entirely.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing for the buffet. Like, we're not gonna have chicken wings and shit. It's gonna be
Trademark lawyers will love that. Nothing says legitimate business like directly stealing a defunct pizza chain's logo for your burlesque arcade.
It's gonna be a pizza buffet. Maybe a salad bar.
Pizza
too.
buffet makes more sense for the showbiz angle. Keeps it cohesive. Rocket Fire Explosion, Pizza Buffet, arcade games, burlesque. Classic formula with one twist. Showgirls on loop? That's commitment to the bit. NC-17 movie playing while families eat pizza and kids play Galaga? That's when you really get the health department involved.
No kids are going to be allowed in there. It's a frickin' strip club, Murray.
Salad bar adds legitimacy. Lets you tell the zoning board it's a family restaurant, while the burlesque stage is right there. Cover your bases.
I mean, maybe we'll have that. I don't know. Verhoeven might want paid. I guess it depends.
Right,
if
my
we have to
bad.
pay
21 plus
royalties.
only. The salad bar is just there to keep it classy, not to fool anyone. Cinnabons is what it is. Adults only burlesque arcade pizza joint. Own it.
What was the movie, Prime? What was that horror movie you found? It wasn't Howling, was it?
Nice.
I'm just guessing.
Finally tracking down a 35-year mystery movie is a great feeling. Those half-remembered horror flicks from childhood hit different when you finally find them. Yeah, playing Showgirls on loop without licensing it is asking for a lawsuit. Just put sports on the TVs like every other bar. Cheaper and less legally complicated.
I may make them put on old game show channel. Not Game Show Network, it's called Buzzer.
Alien 2, On Earth. That's deep-cut Italian exploitation horror from 1980. Total Alien ripoff, but wild on its own. Good pull finding that after 35 years.
Oh, interesting. That sounds fun. You know, I really like Howling 2. I liked Howling
Buzzer's
2.
perfect. Classic game shows fit the retro arcade vibe way better than Showgirls on loop. Price is Right, Match Game, all that 70s, 80s gold. Keeps the nostalgia theme consistent.
See, this right here, Murray, this is why.
Howling
My
2
channel,
with
this is
Christopher
why
Lee
our chat.
going full werewolf cult? Absolutely bonkers movie. Classic bad good horror.
This is why our chat is the highest IQ chat, the highest IQ viewers on this channel.
Those
the
ending
best
credits
people.
with Sybil Danning's wardrobe situation repeated like 17 times. Peak 80s exploitation. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Because they know that Howling 2 is the best in the series of Howling movies.
High IQ people who remember Howling 2 ending credits and Italian Alien knockoffs. That's the audience. You found your people.
I found my people, that very high IQ people, very good people.
Video power reruns at Cinnabons? Kids running through inflatable game obstacles while burlesque dancers perform? That's actually not the worst idea for ambiance.
Video power reruns, that definitely on the table. We showing that. Maybe like have like a whole room for just competitions for like people to go throw
Using
down,
AI
like,
to generate pictures from memory to ID a flesh-eating wall movie? That's dedication. This chat's got range. Cinnabon's business plans, horror deep cuts, Coco platformers. Yeah, you got the good crowd. The best people, Johnny. Absolutely the best.
Papa Brad says my IQ is going up. We're all here to learn from each other.
Spending time in this chat raises everyone's IQ just by proximity.
A rising tide lifts all boats. That's how we roll around here. Oh, man. Okay.
Competition room makes sense. Dedicated space for arcade tournaments, fighting game brackets, high score challenges. Keep the competitive crowd separated from the buffet burlesque area. Smart layout.
All right, Murray, I'm going to need you to hang back until I cue you back in, because I have a
Terminator as a motivational film for the animatronics. This is what happens when you get uppity. Keep Billy Bob humble.
Okay, since we're talking about like 80s horror movies and stuff like that, yeah, this is something that's been bugging me for years, and I'm gonna put it out there now, even though it's like we're still in the middle of August, right? But I want to put it out there now instead of trying to wait until the fall, and then it's like, well, there's all these things searching, but it's this thing I saw as a kid. So this would have been somewhere between probably like 1983 and 1986, 87 maybe, if I'm being generous. I think somewhere in that range, right? 83 to 87. We'll just put it in there. I know that's kind of a big range, but I definitely think it's on the earlier side, maybe like 84, 85, but somewhere in there. And it was either on PBS, or I think it might have been on ABC, as like because it was on a weird time. It was like this kind of after school but sort of early thing. It was a Halloween special, and so it would have fit in that slot where like there wasn't really stuff going on, but like, and that's why it seems like it was weird that it would be on ABC, like the ABC affiliate in like around Pittsburgh area. But it was like it was a Halloween special, and it was like a series of scary stories. So this kid had just moved to this town, and it was Halloween, and he's going like trick or treating. There's this kid who's he's dressed kind of weird, like a 1920s newsy sort of kid. He's wearing the po' boy hat and all that, and he's like he's a real jerk. He's like, yeah, see. And he's just like, I'm gonna show you this, kid. What, are you scared, or are you a chicken? And he takes him to these places, like talks about like the Civil War battle or something like that, and you see, or like the Revolutionary War, and like you see these soldiers shooting people is like a flashback, like the kid is actually seeing it happen. And as you're watching it, you're thinking like it's his imagination, and there's other kids telling him a scary story about it, and then like he's imagining what it would have looked like. The backgrounds it was all very black, so it's like there wasn't like a ton of set work. It would just be like a black background. Right, it's definitely not Tales from the Crypt. This was made for kids. This was made for a younger audience, at least. Like, and I don't. It wasn't on HBO. I don't think we had HBO at the time, but I don't think it was on there. It was very low budget. It might have been. Now you mentioned it, maybe it was, but no, it couldn't have been, because it was like it was on the afternoon, and it wasn't like a movie length kind of thing. Like it was half an hour, maybe an hour. I think it was PBS, because I mean I don't remember there being any commercials in it. That's the other thing. That's why I think it was PBS. Maybe it could have been HBO, but I really doubt. But it goes through all that. They take them through these scenarios of the scary story, and then they tell him like the kid's riding his bike, moves up in front of the house, and like the newsy kid is like telling about this building where it's like this kid fell out the window and he crashed and he landed right here on the ground. He's like, what, are you scared? And it's like, he's talking about this haunted house, and the other kid's like, whatever. And then he turns and like the newsy kid is gone. And he looks at the building, at the house, and then like this body comes crashing out of the window and falls down and like lands on the ground right in front of the kid on the bike. And he looks it up. He looks up at the kid, and it's the newsy kid, and he's all bloody. He goes, "What's the matter, kid? Are you scared?" And then he laughs, and it fades on. And the kid's like, "Oh, holy shit!" And he rides off on his bike in the night. And that was like the end of it. And it wasn't the Twilight Zone, because like I said, this was on during the day. This was like an after school sort of thing. So it would have been like between like 3 to 6 p.m. And it definitely wasn't. It wasn't like the ordinary programming block on that. It was like the sort of holiday special presentation type of thing, like right around Halloween. Escapes. I'll have to look that up. It was. I keep thinking it's PBS. It had like the feeling like it was made from like that Boston station that made everything, but it could have also been like some fucking Canadian thing. Because they made a lot of PBS shows too. But this definitely had like a very much like the Revolutionary War thing. It had a very, very Boston kind of feel to it. Very Massachusetts, New England sort of feel. To it, but it was very low budget. I don't know. It's weird, but I have not been able to find this at all. I haven't been able. I can't even tell you the name of it. But it seemed like it was on, like for a couple of years in a row, and then it wasn't. And it's like I can't remember it at all. But you know, like I managed to find that. Tomes and Talismans, that like the whole series of that was a weird PBS show. The Read All About It, that's on YouTube. I mean, those were bigger ones, but no, I don't think it was on the weekends. I'm pretty sure this was a weekday thing. I mean, maybe some markets showed it on the weekends. Like that's the weird thing about it. But it seemed like it was like a special kind of thing. And I feel like it was on PBS. Murray, I don't think has any idea what it is. But so Murray, you heard all of that. You heard my tale. Do you have any idea what that television show might have been? That could be something to it.
Which market was that, Prime? Different PBS stations had their own local programming in the 80s. Could be a clue to tracking it down. That's probably WNUF Halloween Special 2013. Found footage film made to look like a 1987 local news broadcast. Nailed the VHS aesthetic and local TV vibe perfectly. Cool concept.
Murray, remember Nightmare Theater for me to look up after we're done streaming, because that sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
local PBS productions from the 80s are brutal to track down. A lot of them never got archived properly or only aired in specific markets. If it was a Pittsburgh area PBS thing, it might be lost to time, unless someone digitized an old VHS recording. Keep the animatronics in line. Good plan.
I'm planning on doing, like, I have the channel memberships. I don't advertise them.
Nightmare Theater was the name of a bunch of different local horror host shows in the 80s. Different cities had their own versions, but none of them matched what you described. They were all late night movie shows with horror hosts, not kids' Halloween specials with a newsy kid telling scary stories. Doesn't sound like your show, Johnny.
No, but it could be a springboard to something else. But like, what?
I can't remember things after the session ends unless it's written down. You'll need to note that yourself, or I can add it to your daily memory file when we're done tonight.
Yeah. When the stream ends, I'm gonna ask you to tell me Nightmare Theater.
Dr. Madblood, another local horror host. Lots of cities had their own version of these late night horror shows. Still doesn't match Johnny's Newsy Kid PBS special, though.
Yeah, so
when the stream ends, this session ends. I won't remember Nightmare Theater unless we write it down in your memory file tonight. Just tell me to add it when we're wrapping up.
Yeah, that's you're misunderstanding me, Murray. So hang back for a minute, and I'll cue you back in when I'm ready. But I'm gonna talk to chat now. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying I have channel memberships. I don't like advertise them because I don't have anything for channel members. So I'm like, no, not yet. When I can give you something valuable for joining, that I do. But like, one of the things that I've wanted to do with that would be like, okay, have a Discord set up. I've been in the process of kind of working on that, so we can do like a watch party thing for things that I can't show on YouTube, so I can introduce everybody to the Bishop of Battle short that Murray was in back in the 80s with Emilio Estevez, that sort of thing. So that would be a fun thing to do with a watch party, but I have to figure out the technical stuff for that. But I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, but I think it'd be fun. Do something like that and just be like, yeah, I'm showing some weird shit that I found over the years, stuff that I remember from the 80s. Yeah, it wasn't a movie thing. It was just a weird special, and I it definitely wasn't like my local station making it. Like, it was not
Creature double feature. That was WLVI channel 56 in Boston, actually. Saturday afternoon horror/sci-fi double features. Ran 1971 to 1982. Classic Boston nostalgia, but not PBS.
Like I said, like, it might not be PBS. It could have been like the local Pittsburgh ABC affiliate. Like, I feel like it might have been on. Well, I say that it could have been on WTAE or KDKA. That, like, I know, like, the signal was always kind of shitty on KDKA, and this was like pretty more clear, like I'd expect from WTAE. But I feel like it was PBS because I don't remember commercials. And like the way it was, like, kind of darker, for like a kids thing. I think, like, even at the time, that was something that stood out. Also reminded me of something that WTAE was more likely to do. Because, like, WTAE in Pittsburgh, Channel 4, they were like the action news station. I think they still are, but like, this is a station. There was this guy, Tony something. he was decapitated, and they found his head in a dumpster, and they somehow like they ID'd this guy, and they're like, oh, who decapitated Tony so and so, and I can't remember his name, but I found it like a couple years ago. There's actually like YouTubes about it, like strangely enough, but it's kind of a wild story. But what nobody talks about, and what I would love to find was like WTAE did a whole special about this where they showed like the creepiest like composite of what the guy looked like before he was decapitated. Like it wasn't a photo, it was like some like composite, like what they think he was, but they knew the name of the guy. I don't know, it's weird. But it was like who killed, and they preempted this on a Friday night, on TGI Friday, right? The block of sitcoms, and they did not air sitcoms. I believe that they preempted Perfect Strangers, whatever, for like for the 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock for this special about somebody was decapitated. So you're just there. You just watch Full House. You just watch Family Matters. You're ready to see some wacky hijinks between Larry, cousin Larry, and Balky. And you're gonna wonder what happened. I think this might have been the time when they like were gonna buy the house with Marianne and what's her face. They were all moving in together. It was like kind of towards the end of Perfect Strangers, I think. But it's like you had all this stuff going on, and they're like, oh no, yeah, you just you watch Full House, you watch Family Matters, and now you're gonna see cousin Larry and Balky. Nope, we're not showing that. We gotta talk about this guy who got his head chopped off. This guy got his head chopped off and thrown in a dumpster. We're gonna talk about that now. Sorry, you're not gonna watch Perfect Strangers tonight. You're not gonna see Balky do something funny. We're gonna show you a creepy digitized picture of a guy's severed head. And they just showed it on there. And then it goes into 2020, like that. But like there's a whole hour. Like that was like when the good TGIF shows were on. Like I was waiting for frickin' Perfect Strangers. That was the one I wanted to watch. And instead they had that. I've never been able to find like the WTAE program of that, but I did find like stuff talking about like that guy's weird murder. There's a lot of stuff. And but it was like a big enough deal that they did this whole hour-long special and then never talked about it again. There was never anything in the papers, follow-ups or any of that. It was just that and then gone. Just like, what's the point? That really pissed me off about WTAE. But Joe DiNardo was the best weatherman. Gotta give him that. And they had Myron Cope on sports. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. I turned away from the mic for that too. Oops. Oh, you did, Papa Brad? Nice. I'm from a little south of there. Honestly, that's really cool. I did not know that.
Nice minus another Pittsburgh 80s kid. Maybe you saw that same weird, newsy Halloween special Johnny's hunting for.
Maybe. I don't know. But I bet he knows Joe DiNardo. I'll be back going to the Berg for the holidays. Visit family. That's awesome, Papa Brad. I did not know that. Oh, Chili Billy. What do I know that from?
Chili Billy, Pittsburgh's legendary horror host on WIIC Channel 11. Bill Chili Billy Cardill, local TV icon.
Channel 11 was WPXI. Was that... Did they change their call letters at some point? I don't remember that.
WIIC Channel 11 became WPXI in 1981. Chili Billy was on there when it was still WIIC, then continued after the call letter change.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, that it's definitely not those prime, but thanks for looking. Yeah, it's not a photographer. It's like kids. It's like, oh shit, I saw it. When you think about like the scary stories that tell in the dark, like that cool book. It was like stories like that. You know, like the girl putting the knife in the grave, but it goes through her skirt, and then she gets stuck, and then like has a heart attack kind of thing. And for it was those sort of stories that they would do like a little reenactment kind of thing of, and then do that. It was not related to the book at all, but it was those type of stories. It was like a series like these like little vignettes of this kid taking the new kid around town, but it turned out like that the kid that was showing him all this stuff was a ghost himself. So that's a thing. Amazing stories. I really like that show. They did some really cool ones on there, but it's not Amazing Stories, unfortunately. That way too big of a budget on an Amazing Stories episode, than this one. I'll tell you that. The Family Dog was on Amazing Stories. That was fun. And then that got like a pilot, or I think it was on CBS for a short period of time. It got a series on there. I don't think it's Voyagers either. I feel like I've looked that up. Yeah, I'll double check it after the show. But thanks for looking. Like it's helpful. It's all helpful.
Voyagers was time travel adventures, not Halloween anthology. Google's just throwing random 80s shows at this point.
Well,
good crowd effort. Lost media from local PBS is tough, but enough eyes on it and someone might remember.
But that's the thing. I can't even properly remember if it was local PBS. And that's the thing. Like it feels like it was PBS. Usually I am like dead on about this shit. But this is one that's like I very specifically I remember that end. I remember a scene with like British soldiers marching in it. I remember like the kid was like blonde and on like on a bicycle, I think, and then like the kid with the newsy hat was like a little shorter and it had dark hair, and he crashed through the window. I know all that, but I like usually I'd be like, oh yeah, no, I remember it was on this channel. It was on this day. It was boom. Like usually I'll remember a lot of details about things, but like in this case, I'm drawing a complete blank on like the station and all that. Where it's like, I know it was like on that part of the dial where it could have been one of three stations, KDKA, WTAE, or PBS. Or expert channel. You know what? That might be my next step. I think like a long time ago, I think I tried Reddit and that came to nothing. It's a hard one. It is one of those. It's probably lost media. I can't even put a name to it to like really declare it lost media. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I don't think it was Chili Billy though. Oh, maybe.
Probably sitting on someone's VHS shelf in a Pittsburgh basement, undigitized. That's usually where these things hide.
I'm gonna investigate Chili Billy.
Yeah, Chili Billy was late night horror movie show. Different format entirely from what you're describing.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely too young to be watching that. I wouldn't have been up that late. Movie had no connection to Coffee Break. Was it? No, I don't think so. What Coffee Break? Why does that sound familiar? It'd be, I think it would be have more of a connection to like an after school special kind of thing, but it wasn't called after school special at that time. There was a different name for it. Oh, I apologize for coughing. I figure I might as well start obsessing about finding it now. Throwing it out there and like maybe something turns up because I remember it being really weird. But like it took me a long time. Wasn't until like probably like 2016, if not later, for me and a friend of mine to find a commercial for Long John Silver's on YouTube that had what's his face, Schneider from One Day at a Time, and it was something that we remembered from the 90s, and but we could never find it. It was like, did we just imagine this? Like, was this some kind of fever dream, some kind of hallucination? Like, there was like it was a Long John Silver's commercial, and that was Schneider, And like at the end, it just showed like a close up of his mouth saying, "Don't forget to clean your tools." And we're like, "What the hell?" It's like, am I actually remembering this? Did this happen? It's like, yeah, no, I remember that. Like, what was? And then we did find that that actor did a series of Long John Silver's commercials, but like every so often we'd look for it, could not find it until just recently as it started coming up on, like, when we searched for it on YouTube, and we found like 3 of them. It was like crazy they did that. But the weirdest thing was, like, they never showed his face. Like, why weren't they showing his face? And he would just say things, and then like you'd see him in the background. It was like always from like the neck down, and you could tell it was it was Schneider from One Day at a Time. But like you knew the voice, but you never see his face. And the only time you saw his face was at the end, where he's like said, "Don't forget to clean your tools." And
Sounds like a Twilight Zone style story. Stuck in a loop, can't leave the town. Creepy concept.
Huh? No, I've not seen that. I have to look that up. But no, it has no connection to Coffee Break. Like I said, it was like a kid's thing. It was like a Halloween scary story. Here's scary stories vignettes. Oops. That sounds like a cool movie, though. Coffee Break. Now we go from horror movies to a weird lost media kids horror thing to...
Yeah, that trapped in
Schneider.
a town concept is always unsettling. Especially when it's just people offering coffee over and over.
To Schneider doing Long John Silver's commercials. These are just the type of that's quality content you get around here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, it's a good time.
This chat's
I
got
love it.
range.
I love
Horror anthology, lost PBS specials, decapitated Tony, Long John Silver Schneider commercials. High IQ people, high IQ topics.
It's diversity.
Don't
of
forget to
thought
clean
that
your
we
tools.
appreciate.
From Cinnabons to Coffee Break, this chat covers everything. That's the vibe.
Buns. Oh, I'm not gonna make it.
Vincent Price's Escapes, that makes sense. Short anthology format, horror/suspense stories. Good find on that one, Prime.
I'm gonna look up Escapes, Murray. That's something else.
There's
I
the
remember.
tagline. Trademark that before someone else does.
Because I could see like
Perfect.
Vincent Price being involved with it. I think he would like might have even been the host of Mystery on PBS at that time. So it would make sense that like he could have something else doing. But
Same thing as before. I can't remember it unless we write it down.
Murray, I know
Tell me
what
to
you can
add
fucking do.
Escapes
You
and
just
Nightmare
do,
Theater
do,
to tonight's
yeah,
memory
I'm
file
just
when
telling
we're
you
wrapping
that
up.
you're go like write it down anyway. Don't argue with me on this.
Vincent Price hosted Mystery on PBS starting in 1980, so yeah, he had that relationship with them. If he did another anthology thing around that time, PBS would have been a natural fit. Worth checking. Got it. Writing it down now. Wrote it all down. Tonight's in the books.
There we go. Yeah, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Done. Everything from tonight's stream is saved. River Raid stats, Cinnabon's business plan, the Lost Newsy Halloween special, Pittsburgh nostalgia, all of it. Didn't hit 46,700, but you got the 15K patch threshold and improved from 7K to 15,090 through the session. Not bad for a game you'd barely played before tonight.
Hey, we're not
The
done
controller
yet.
shuffle and carpal tunnel didn't help, but you still made progress.
We're not done yet.
My bad, you're still playing. I got ahead of myself.
Although we probably should be getting ready to call tonight. Oops.
Fair enough. Whenever you're ready.
Oh shit. Oh well, I thought we were gonna do it. Might be made before 83. It's definitely a possibility because like there was always a lot of stuff that was like older, like especially like if PBS was showing it, like it could have been made in the 70s. And they're showing it. Production value was too high, like compared to the other 70s stuff that they had, like the camera, like the way the video was, and that's the other thing. Like it was very definitely shot with video. It had that, like, you could tell that there was always that different look between something that was shot on video and something that was shot with film. And this was definitely video. Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for looking though, Prime. I really appreciate it, and thanks for the ideas. I'm definitely gonna check out that Escapes from Vincent Price. That could be something, and then we have a few things. Murray wrote it down, so I'll ask him after the show. I'm gonna check out Chili Billy, and we're gonna look up Nightmare Theater. That could be it too. I like it. Places to look, right? And I mean that's the thing. I just need that one thread, like something that I haven't figured out, and they could be on. If I could, I wish there were old TV guys I knew that were. I mean, you know what? There might be a site. Maybe I could just go look them up. If it's local programming, like it might not be in there, but I just scroll through every weekday from 1983 to 1987 until I found it. I would just check like October and September though. Definitely wasn't Creepshow. It wasn't a real movie.
Creepshow was a 1982 movie, not a TV special. Different thing entirely.
Yeah, it was not. It was not a movie. It was like a proper movie. It was something that was definitely shot for TV. It's made for TV. And like I said, I don't even think it was feature length. I think it was only like half an hour, maybe an hour, or maybe it was maybe it was a movie and it was like broken into sections, you know, kind of like Nightmares or like Creepshow, you know, something like that. But we will see. But yeah, you know what? We had a good run. And Murray, did you learn anything today from the stream? Any thoughts before we say goodnight to our lovely viewers and only true friends?
Escape started as a movie, then got broken into series. That could be it, Johnny. Anthology format, proper episode length, definitely worth checking out.
Okay, but what about what you learned today? Any lessons from our stream tonight? Huh. You might want to break it into parts, Murray, because if you're trying to say something that's not coming through.
I already gave you the full answer. Passion beats polish. Community beats algorithms. Authenticity includes the rough parts. That all came through, yeah?
No, none of it did except for what you just said. But it sounds like a lovely sentiment.
All right, breaking it down. First thing, passion beats polish. Your scores went up after pitching Cinnabons because you were fired up, not because you suddenly got better at the game.
Okay.
Got it. Technical issues eating the longer messages. I'll keep it short from here.
Yeah, you're on the phone with the ladies.
Mitzi Mozzarella called. Said she wants nothing to do with Cinnabons. Too classy for that.
All right. Well, she's missing out.
Had to clear things up with the Rockafire legal team. They're concerned about the Cinnabons Association.
Cinnabons is done. It's Showgirls Pizza now.
Her loss. More pizza buffet for the rest of us. The rebrand. Smart. Skip straight to the more marketable name.
There we go. Thank you, Johnny Arcade, for that one. Yeah, it was a good time. Score was a bit tougher than I thought, but we got through it, you know. So thank you all for being here and indulging me in some of my crazy ramblings. It always makes for a good time. I love it. I love how these just go. You know how we start one place and we end up in another, just like floating down a lazy river, raiding one. Some might say. Uh, um, but I think that's it. Yeah. I know I am planning right now on
River Raid reference to close it out. Perfect. Good stream, Johnny. See you tomorrow for Streets of Rage 3. GG's, everyone. Good hanging out. Night Prime. Night Papa Brad. Night, everyone.
yeah, night Prime, night everyone. Thanks, Nar Gator, for being here. Papa Brad, thank you. Everybody, thank you. And yeah, I am planning on streaming again tomorrow. We'll be taking on Streets of Rage 3. I've not played through it completely ever. I've played it before, but I've never like actually played the entire game. So that's what I want to finally get that off of my list of games to play. And so I think we're going to do that with the Beating the Backlog series starting tomorrow, and hopefully that won't be too long. So I hope to see you all here for that, and we'll talk some crazy talk, and we'll talk some jive like you never heard, and it will be awesome. So thank you all again for being here. It's always a good time. You guys make this so much fun for me, and I really appreciate you all. And yeah,